This is really dumb. I'm so sorry. Hey, gorgeous.
Hi, Lisa. How's it going?
Oh, good. How are you? Sorry, I've done something dumb to my background and I can't change it, buddy.
That's
How's
all good.
I'll just make sure you're okay. I've got an AI companion who's just doing the note taking. If
No
that
worries.
pops up, just check that that's happening. Oh, I don't know why it's doing that. How are you, my friend? You look lovely. Have you had a haircut?
I cut it all off. It's gone flat today, but
I
yeah,
like
feels
it.
good. Yeah. I was like, oh, because I went and put a whole lot of extensions through it and then braided it all out. And then, of course, when I took it all out, it just looked frightful. So I was like, oh, let's just start again.
I really like it. It's really cool. I like it that length.
Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, I do too. It's, oh, yeah, nice and
Is it
easy.
easier to look after? So how's things while I just sort this thing out? How's things? How's things going?
Yeah, things are real good. Just had a really intense 6 months where we merged the two trusts together and then created that
Yeah.
company, bought the business, or bought the new farm. So it was
Yeah.
all the changeover, all in. So I was kind of like the director of the whole thing. So just had
Wow.
everyone, all the moving parts, making sure everything was good.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, I've had to fall on my teachings quite a lot, just to keep calm and yeah, just play around with the molecules and
Oh, I can imagine, my friend. I can imagine.
yeah,
It's a big thing, and you're working with lots of different personalities.
and lots of
Don't
new
have the
ones.
tools.
Yeah, and that's right. So it was kind of like, oh gosh, okay, okay, step back.
And
Don't strangle anyone today. Let's just yeah. So I quite enjoyed that. It was cool to watch and observe. You know,
yes,
especially, observing self always, and then
yes.
observing other people, and then me having to change things up to get different results. I quite enjoyed that.
I
Um,
know, because you see in action who you're being, right?
yeah,
You see it day
yeah,
by day, moment, and you go, "Oh, I've just shifted that." And there was that whole
yeah,
process with Joel and me selling the house. That was not easy at times. Oh my goodness, some of the most confronting. But what happens is, I saw me surrendering more and more, and letting go of my parenting role and trying to control her happiness and trying to sort the house stuff out and just handing it over and handing. And when I really handed it over, she told me she was moving.
yeah.
And then the house sold 4 weeks later after she told me. It was like that, bang. I just had this that final handover to do, right? So I so get it when you shift who you be. It was huge, massive.
Mm,
And she was
mm,
my biggest teacher in the last 2 years, and that house, that freaking house.
mm. Goodbye, house. Love you long time. Get out of
Love you
here.
long time. No, no, no judgment, eh? Just a lot of
Yeah,
stress. Yeah. Hey, thank you
yeah,
for coming in, especially last minute, because someone stepped out last minute and someone else jumped in, and then today that person couldn't do it this tonight. I was like, and then you reached out. I'm like, let's go. Let's just get in and
yeah.
do it, eh? Now, some of this stuff you might find, you'll know some of this. Like you've done a lot of work with me, but I'm practicing a whole new system of a one-to-one, okay? Just so you know, if I'm looking down at sheets, it's
Looking
just
at the
I'm
book. Yeah.
practicing a whole new challenge. There won't,
Cool.
yeah, there won't be any home play. I'll probably be sharing some stories that you've heard. I've used you as an example without your name with some other people as some
Oh,
cool
yeah.
results. So I know you'll get something out of it anyway.
Yeah.
And then we'll see how we go. So I just want to share about me. Obviously, you know about me, but I'm just practicing, right?
Yep.
So 12 years ago, oh my goodness, I was marriage breakup. My mum was sick. I had two kids to look after, and I got left with 5 years bad credit, nowhere to go. And my thinking, my way of being, how I was living my life, I just knew I was not going to powerfully get through this. And I was like, something's got to change here. Look what I've created by being who I am. And I asked, I wonder what other tools there are. And 3 months later, this person showed up who gave me the questions, how to ask questions of me and the universe. And then she gave me an energy tool that helped to shift me and my family. And from there, I started to hand over and surrender that it was all just me by myself. I started to tap into the soul part of me and I started to listen to myself and listen to the universe. And from there, I downloaded a whole methodology. I rewired my own brain over 5 or 6 years, and this methodology downloaded. And that's when people reached out to me and said, Lise, how did you do that? Can I work with you? And it turned into a coaching business. So, it wasn't easy at times, but I just love the fact it's all come out of my own journey and my own process of letting go. Because I'd been using tools like affirmations, being positive, goal setting, and you know about that, Gina. The goal set hustle, man. That was me. I was the queen of it. I don't do any of that now. So yeah, that's a little bit about me, and no doubt some stories will come up. I wondered if you wanted to share a little bit about you.
Um, yeah, about me. Okay, yeah, so I guess I saw your vid one day and it was through Kelly, because me and Kelly had worked together on a
Yeah.
couple of things, Relive and Kangen and something else. Anyway, they were always really cool. So I knew that you know, Kelly had surrounded herself with really onto it people. So when I saw your vid, I was like at a real tough time in my life. So I jumped on a Zoom and then joined in with a whole lot of other people. And then from there, it's just, yeah, you shared your tools with me. I took them on board, went 100%, and everything's just gotten better, bigger, brighter, lighter. Yeah, so now I'm at the stage where I'm just kind of like, even though a lot of the stuff that I see you do, it's like, oh yeah, yeah, that's right, I know that. And I'm always practicing stuff. Like I still journal all the time and ask questions and
Yes.
what have you. It's just that even going right back to basics, like the questions, how does it get better than this? Just that alone is like, ah, yeah, that's right. Because sometimes I'm like, I'll get too intense with my questions, and I know I'm doing it. And I think I have to have the most brilliant, like, kind of, worked out
Yes.
question. But really, all
Yeah.
it is it's just opening up and being that simple, really. Yeah, so I love it. I enjoy it, and I'm always keen to jump back in.
Wow, how
Well,
cool, Gina.
I never really jump out,
No,
but
I know
to
that's
have the
why you've got.
refreshers and to be, back in your space like this is always, you know, it only gets better. Life
Oh,
only
well,
gets
that's so
better.
cool. Thank you for that. And that's the
Yeah,
thing, isn't it? Is you never jumped out. And that's why
yeah,
things are still moving for you. And
yeah,
that's why you've created what you've created in the last few years because you use the tools. You're embodying them most of the time.
yeah,
And we all have our moments, like you said. We all have to pivot. We all do. So do I. We all have to go, oh, I'm a little bit triggered there. But you've got that foundation, so your baseline has lifted over the last 4 years from shame and guilt and shitting
mm,
on yourself and shooting on yourself and
mm,
not being an allowance of yourself and self-judgment to this higher one where, yeah, you've got this self-joy and more self-love. Yeah, you
yeah,
have your moments, but your baseline is way higher, isn't it, of where you are?
yeah,
And who
yeah.
you're being and that embodiment of who you are is way higher than what you were when I first met you. Super proud of you, and I love working with you because you always put the work in, and we don't mean like goal setting. I mean like you do it, you embody it, you let go, you surrender when you have to, you do the self-awareness stuff, and I love that about you. And thank you for being here and allowing me to do this and practice this with you. So yeah, this has been a really cool thing that with a business coach. And so she's come in just when I needed it, and it's meant that I've got clarity completely on my niche. I've
Mm,
completely got everything lined up. Like everything looks the same, everything feels the same. My programs that are coming now all fit within it. Where before, you don't know what you're doing, do you? You're just pulling things out sometimes when you're self-employed and you're a business coach, and I've made up my methodology. So it wasn't like someone was coaching me through that. So it's been really cool to have her holding my hand, and I'll be holding your hand this week. So this process I've created obviously is to support women like you in the last 10 years. And there's no homework. It's just a mindset shift. And there might be things that come up again that you go, oh, am I doing that to myself again? Or something like that. So we're going to do a bit of a mindset shift over the next 5 days. And you can ask questions, make sure you do. This is your time. This is for you. And this is for you to ask anything or tell me anything, okay? So day one is just your current position where you are. Day two, we're going to look at my signature system, which you know lots about, the asking methodology, but we're going to grade it. We're going to see where you think you are again, okay? Because there might be areas where you've slipped, or there might be areas where you haven't got as strong in the last 4 years. And then day three, we're going to surrender over some of those shoulds again. And I'm sure you'll have some. I've got some. And we're going to look at that personal power that comes back from letting go of control. And then day four, it'll be that shifting your frequency into new possibilities. And then day five, it's your next step. So if you love what we're doing, if you're okay with what we're doing, I'll ask for a review if that's okay. Yeah, and
Yep,
then even a couple of people to refer me into the 5 day challenge if you know anyone who wants to come in for a free challenge. And then if you still feel like there's value on the fifth day, I'll offer you what I've got coming up next. Is that okay?
yep.
Sweet, cool. So you,
And
sorry, hun?
no, no, that's all
That's
good.
all
Yep.
good, cool. So I'll just talk to you about the ascension model I've got now. You know, you're in them anyway. The first one is being on my Facebook page. Then it's being in my free group, Fueled Circle for Midlife Mums. Then it's being in this challenge, okay, which you're in, the Soul Says Yes, or Say Yes to Your Soul. And then the next one is my Soul Fueled Shift program. That's 3,997 US dollars. So I'm going to be straight up about that. That's a 3 month intensive. So you get a course with it, and then you work with me, obviously, every week. We're smashing out those self-awareness things. And then the next one is called Living Soul Fueled. That's my premium one. That's 9,997 US. But because you've already done so much with me, I could put you in the top one if you really wanted. And you're not new to this work, but if you were following my ascension, I wouldn't put you up there because you'd need to go through those basics. But you've done the basics. So yeah, I just want to share that with you and be transparent about all the costs and what's happening on day five if you wish to hear more. Cool?
Yep, cool.
Cool, sweet. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at your goals. And you know, I don't really use that word goal, but your desires, what you're up for in the next year, your targets. And you might have some already. No doubt you've had some work ones and you've been smashing those like you normally do. But I wonder what personal ones you've got because I know you're such a work orientated, do the
Yeah.
mahi work goals. I know that about you. And with my business coach, you know, I've got these targets too, and she's helped me to see the gap, but also what was missing. So I just want to see today what is missing in terms of are you really asking for what you really want at the moment? Or is it more about the kids and money and whānau and work? So anyway, let's have a look. We can slide
Okay.
back into old patterns. So I want to have a look at this. Now, my last person I did had never really answered this before, not really. What targets did she have for her in 12 months? So if we were going to bring you forward in a year's time and you were sitting down and we were talking, and I was meeting you, came and had a coffee, which we never bloody did, but we're going to summer. Next summer, man.
Probably
I
see you
wa-
in Greece or something, see you in
yeah,
Turkey.
yeah, I hope
Probably.
so. But I will definitely not be selling a house and having a kid to look after. So I'm going to have extra time next summer. So if I was meeting you in a year's time, what would you want to be celebrating with me? Like if we were having a pina colada, my friend. No
Cool.
coffee here. What would you want to be celebrating? What targets? Or have you not really thought about it in terms of you?
Yeah, I have. I've kind of thought about just wanting to like cutting off all the ones that don't serve.
Right.
Like I just want, the core group that love and support me, and that's it. Everyone else can, like, I don't want any more time wasters.
Yep. And what do you mean by time waste? Do you mean people that just aren't congruent with you and aligned?
Yeah, and the fact that I only hear from people when they need something,
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
which is
that
non-congruent
kind of,
because
yeah,
you're like
non-congruent.
you're like me, you're a real doer and you help people, right? You're a doer
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was getting people, some of those people in my healing group, we were all doing a free healing night once a week, but they would leave and it was their turn to do it with me.
Oh, yeah,
So they would turn up, they'd get the energy session, they'd leave feeling fantastic and then leave.
yeah,
I get what you're saying, my friend, and we've done that to ourselves on some level, but we also can undo that by stepping out of that non-congruent friendships and relationships.
yeah,
So it's not congruent and it's not serving you in terms of you upgrading into your next reality, right?
yeah, that's it.
Holding you back. Is that what it feels like?
Yeah, pretty much. Or just, yeah, just like, taking my energy where I could be putting it into something that's way more fun, way more cool, way more
Right.
uh exchange of energy. Like that's what I mean.
Yes.
Like if it's an exchange of energy, I'm up for it. But when
Yeah.
it's just, you're feeling like the life force being sucked out of you, it's just kind of like, oh nah, nah,
Oh
I'm not
no,
playing
don't
that
do that
anymore.
anymore. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that energy exchange you're not getting. So that would be relationships. So really what you're saying is relationships that fill your bucket
Yeah.
in every area, right?
In
Children,
every area. Yeah.
work, whānau, friendships, even another relationship. Who knows, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So an aligned relationships that fill your bucket. Cool. I'm just making notes, hun. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's all good. Yeah.
You don't
No
have
worries.
to, so I can feed this back to you at the end as well.
Okay,
That
cool.
fill your bucket. Cool. What else?
Peace.
Yeah.
To be at total peace, like every day. Uh, you know, just that whole like eat when I want, get up when I want, just knowing that I've got all these things, to do, but
Yeah.
just being able to really tune into me and make sure that I'm doing it because it's ease and flow,
Yeah.
no
When you do,
muscle.
right?
Yeah,
So when you
like
tune into you and listen to you in the morning or whenever, you have a flow day, right?
yeah,
And when you don't, I know myself. Yesterday
yeah.
was an interesting day, even though it wasn't meant to be moving and it's hot here, right? It's like 25 degrees in the night.
Damn.
Damn, but I love
Oh,
it. But like yesterday was a day of me not moving. And I was like, why aren't I going anywhere? Why? And then I was in this self-judgment that I wasn't, rather than just being with your body doesn't want to move today. You've been in the sun
yeah,
6 hours on Saturday. I met these
yeah,
locals and they fed me and we spoke with hand gestures, and hung out the whole day and made friends. And then Sunday I just had a quiet swim in the evening, but my body was like, we're not leaving the house. Wasn't
yeah,
and I wasn't an allowance of it. So what you're sort of saying is tune into me and be an allowance of where we are that day too, right?
yeah,
And follow
yeah,
that.
yeah. And yeah, like to have that like 90% of my life, if that's even, you
Well,
can,
I do have that 90% of the time, yeah.
yeah. So yeah,
Yesterday I had a day where I was just in self-judgment because my family were all off, my brother and his wife were all off exercising. I mean, that's bullshit, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just being able to, yeah, allowance, that's the word. So you don't get hung up on, oh shit, I should have been doing this, or shit, I should have gone that way, or I should have. It's like, actually, nah, my body says we're all good and things will happen
Yeah.
when it's meant to. And then it'll just happen like boom. Hey,
And
just,
like it does. But
yeah,
you're so like me. This is how I know this about you, the shooting thing. Yeah,
yeah,
that takes time when you don't sometimes have that someone on your case about it too, going, "Hey, you doing that again?"
yeah,
That takes time to rewire,
yeah,
and particularly when you're doing it by yourself. And
yeah,
I was doing that all by myself, and I get it. That took probably years for me to rewire that all by myself, years and
yeah.
years. And yesterday, it popped up again, the shit
Mm,
stuff. And it pops
yeah,
up every now and again, right? And last night I was just like, and Sean goes, Lise. don't have to do anything. You had a big week last week, went to the gym twice. I did
Yeah,
2K
true.
swimming in the sea, like we were walking through one of the beautiful towns close by. It's a big physical week and it's hot.
Mm. Mm.
So get off your own case. So if you could have a
Yeah.
breakthrough of that, that'd be great, right? In the next
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Awesome. So what
Yeah.
about the next 5 days?
Next 5 days.
What would you
Um,
like?
Probably showing up for myself more, even though I'm doing
Yeah.
it a lot more. Like just trusting myself, showing up for myself. Probably um like doing things that I not doing things that I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Uh Feel right, but not being aggressive about it, because that's what I've been finding myself I can get aggressive. Like I'll snap back and like, nah, instead of just sitting back and observing. Like I think I
Right.
should be like just not like talking less, like this whole over
Right.
explaining thing and this
Okay,
um
gotcha. So you're
yeah.
you're arguing for the fact you don't want to do something. You're
Well,
explaining
so like
yourself a little bit.
yeah, I'll do like I'm full on at work and I'll be going for it and I've got to get everything across the line, blah blah blah. And then I'll get a couple of trustees and they're like, out of that whole email, they'll pick on I don't know, $100 invoice that I got done over. We just bought a $5.9 million farm, it doesn't compute. So,
Yeah.
and I can get up in the emails and I can be quite snappy and I'm like, man, just almost shut the hell up. I've got so many
Right.
moving parts going on. Just trust me. But then I'm thinking, man,
Right.
am I trusting myself or am I
Gonna say that.
reacting to them? Where they, they're only two voices out of seven. I shouldn't even be giving them that energy.
Yeah,
Because it's
because
like it's all good. I'm doing well, but I'm snapping at probably wasting my own time type of thing. Yeah, so
yeah,
trusting myself, having my own back and not being so bent out of shape about it.
being
Like
out of shape. Yeah.
it's
And
all good. It's okay. You know what you're doing,
yeah.
just don't get mad.
Yeah.
You know,
No, I get it. So that sounds like there that you're triggered because there's sometimes a little bit of lack of self-trust of you.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I can go into that like, shit, maybe I'm not clever enough for this job. Shit, maybe I can't pull it off. Maybe I've talked myself up too much. But then, yeah, when I go out of that and pivot, it's like, and then I'll reread my comms that I've been sending out, and I'm like, nah, I'm spot on. Like, yeah, I shouldn't even have gone down that track, but I did. So then away you go, pivot back out, and then it's almost like a rebuild again,
Yeah. And that's so
rebuild
you
of
drop down
trust.
for a little bit for a few hours or days.
Yeah,
What's it like? Is
nah,
it
just
days?
a few hours.
It's
Don't
hours. It's
do
not
days anymore.
days or
Yeah,
years or
nah,
months like we used to, right?
nah, that's right.
And that's
That's
the
right.
shift, and that's so cool that you know that. But obviously, what would it mean if you had this? It would be fantastic, wouldn't it? What would it mean if that was happening? That you were totally in trust, like I would say
Yeah,
for me, it's 99 to 95% of the time. I just had a day of not
yeah,
trusting my body when it was like, stop, please. It was clearly telling me I was lethargic.
yeah,
What would that be like if it was 99, 95% of the time that you did that?
yeah. It'd be nice because then I won't feel like I'm being mean to people, having to call people out all the time.
Yeah,
Like just trust that what I'm doing is all good. It's meant to be, and it's
yeah.
not their fault, and So yeah,
So trust it's all meant to be where it is, not anyone
yeah,
else's fault, and not your fault,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You wouldn't
and
have
then
the
not my fault.
self-judgment.
Yeah,
So do you think there's self-judgment when you do go down for a few hours? That's caused you
yeah,
to
because
go
I'm
down?
like,
It's caused you to
oh my
go
God, I
down.
should be better than this. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I've done all these teachings and learnings and I should be like that all the time. So
yeah. We
yeah.
can imagine for me, right? Who's the coach of it? I've really got to stay out of that verbosity or that talking, right? You can
Yeah.
imagine for me, and when Jill was suicidal and all that was going on, there was some of that going on, like definitely
Yeah,
like, oh my God, here I am, this coach, and I'm sobbing myself to sleep at night, you know?
yeah,
But we are human, and maybe that's what it is too for you, is the just allowance of where you are every day, right?
yeah,
It's that total allowance again, isn't it? So if you were being
yeah,
totally allowing, really allowing of you 95% of the day, what would you feel like inside your body and being?
yeah. Just way more calmer and unknotted, sometimes, when you get all stressed out and
Yeah.
everything's getting all tensed up. So, yeah, I mean, I'm way better than I was three,
Oh,
four
of
years
course.
ago. Yeah, but there's still times that it comes up. So, yeah, I mean, if I did a bit more work on those areas, I'd be happy.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the upgrading, right? That you're up for.
Yeah,
That's the next level of
yeah,
99 to 95% of the time, right? And you have the odd
yeah,
day. The
yeah,
odd
that's
day
right.
every now and again, which is fine, or the odd moment in a day where you get triggered and but in 5 minutes you're out of it and you're not down in that hole for 3 or 4
Yeah,
hours. Yeah,
that's right.
awesome.
Yeah,
So karma unknotted would just mean you're just peaceful, right?
yeah,
Totally
definitely
at
protecting
peace.
my peace. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because is
interesting stuff with the peace. I've never really been peaceful, and I never really understood what that was. It was kind
yeah,
of like, because I think I've just been in chaos for so, so long, even
yeah,
like when
fight
I
or
was
flight.
growing up. And then I went straight into a relationship that was exactly the same thing. So now that I'm in that whole peaceful zone, took a wee while. Like it took ages. Like this time around, it's come. I feel so much more confident now that this is the last time. Like chaos is just not coming back. There's no allowance for that. So to
Yeah,
be peaceful, it's like, damn, this is nice. Like this is
yeah,
just so, so different. And I used to think that, when it was peaceful and quiet and calm, almost had to fill the void with something. So it would
yeah.
be, but that doesn't come in anymore. Like not even a blink, really. Doesn't even come
That's
in.
so good. And I think it's because like me too, growing up, there's a bit of cortisol in my family, alcoholic
Oh,
family,
yeah.
and then in my marriage being a bit scared of my ex, like we're in this fright and flight and you're constantly surveying and looking around, right?
Mm,
And I know that with you, constant. So then when the peace comes in and you've rewired a lot of that, it's like, oh, shouldn't I be doing something? There's something I should
yeah.
be doing. And the being is still not the being, but the brain and the body on some level is still looking for the next drama sometimes, eh? Until
Yeah.
you really let that go. And then what fills the void is possibility and creativity instead.
Mm. And miracles and magic, like that
That's
comes in.
right.
Yeah.
Because once your brain is calm, you can be curious.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can be
So,
adventurous. You can be out there looking and in wonderment. But when it's in fright and flight, you are just in frickin' survival mode, eh?
yeah, that's right. So yeah, I've been loving the piece. Like for real.
Yeah,
I know it's for real this time. Not
that is
trying
so
to make
cool.
myself believe that, this is how it's meant to be. It's like, nah, man, I'm never going back
That is
this
brilliant.
time. Yeah, so
I
so
love
yeah,
it. Well
mm,
done.
yeah, so I'm grateful for that.
Proud of you. So that would
Thank
mean your life in the next 5 days, your life in the next year would look like that, right? You'd be just
Yeah, yeah,
be zen in everything you do most of the time, even though you might be kick-ass and I know you're a flamboyant person and you might be that like me. We're like, I'm loud but there's this peace with that loud, right? Yeah.
yeah.
How cool is
Then
that?
there's that confidence that comes with it, like, just
Yeah.
going to events by myself, just showing up to meet whois or whatever, whatever's going
Yeah.
on. It's like before I'd be like, oh, are you gonna go to the meeting? I'll come with you, and having to make sure that I've got, peeps with me. But
Yeah,
now
yeah.
it doesn't concern me at all. In actual fact, I actually prefer just going by myself because
It's
you're
quite
going with your
nice.
own time schedule, you're going with your own vehicle, you're not having to muck around waiting for other
Yeah.
people. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I really like it. It's cool.
That's so
I like
cool.
being with myself, which is fabulous. I didn't know that that was even possible.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
imagine now in a year's time or 5 days more peace, right?
Mm. Mm.
So the capacity to even be more with yourself and enjoy yourself even more. And
Yeah.
what fills that void when, not the void, but with that peace there, I wonder what's going to show up
Yeah.
in that space of allowance. Something new rises. Does
Yeah, and I'm thinking that that's where it's at because I'm like, man, I have totally done everything that I wanted to do. Like even,
yeah,
paying off my house and being mortgage free. Like I just didn't even think that was a possibility. That was just some kind of wishful thinking out there. So I've done that last year, or might have been beginning, yeah, last year. So then I
yeah.
remortgaged because I wanted to do a whole lot of renovations. And like I'm about $3,000 away from being mortgage free again. Like
Wow.
it's just too no, yeah, it's just easy.
Easy
So
because you've got those tools and you've rewired
yeah,
so
yeah,
much, Gina. I'm so
yeah.
super proud of you. And it wasn't even about the money, was it?
It wasn't about the money. It's like so now I'm at this position where I'm thinking, damn, what's next? Like yeah, like I said, I've had my children, I got married, I bought my businesses, sold my businesses, the houses, the work, I'm at everything that I possibly imagined has already happened. And I'm only 50 and I'm thinking, oh, okay, I've got my targets, which is pretty much what we talked about.
Yes.
But it's like, oh man, there's something bigger
Something
and better
brewing.
happening.
And
Something's
the thing,
brewing.
yeah, and the thing is that we don't even know a lot of the times, do we? You can tell me what you desire, which is peace, which you
Yeah,
have, and we've talked about peace and allowance as your next upgrade to be totally peaceful all the time. But you don't even know
yeah.
what's going to show up for that to happen.
Yeah,
And you've got
that's
to be peaceful first for that, for those things to show up. Because when you be peaceful, the new thing is just going to slide in and you'll be quite surprised and delighted, as you have been the last 4 years, right? How many times
yeah,
have you been surprised and delighted with got a section, paid that off or whatever, sold that? I mean, you were
yeah,
just surprised and delighted all the time with the new things, right? Because
yeah,
deep down, your being is going to show you and the universe will show you. You don't even know
yeah, that's
what it's going
right.
to look like, right?
Yeah, so I kind of like think, oh gosh, okay. Am I actually ready? Am I actually asking for what I truly desire? Because I'm quite liking where am at the minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There'll be
I don't
something
want
that comes in. You watch.
yeah.
There'll be
Oh
something.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
so
no doubt
excited
about
for you. That's so cool. So, yeah, I'm always super excited to hear what you're up to. So,
it.
the next part on page 5, what frustrations have you experienced? We've talked a little bit about that,
Yeah.
but what frustrations have you experienced in pursuit of these targets, like being peaceful? What are your biggest frustrations?
Yeah, I know that, like, because my 8-year-old moved out, and that's all right. She went and
Oh,
lived with her nan, so she's just
oh, okay.
disappeared. But then what's been happening is, she'll come floating back and forth. But they changed her school, they put her into another school, and they did all this thing for her and stuff like that. So they totally changed her routine up. But now what I'm finding over the last few weeks is now she's coming home, but she comes home sick. So she comes back to me, I put her all back together, get the good water into her, get her some routine, get her some everything, and then she goes back. And then she comes back again and she's crook. She can't go to school. And I'm like, okay. So I had to put my foot down and just say, look, if you choose to live with mum, then this is how our household rolls. You choose to live with Nan, well, then you go live over there with Nan. None of this. So the frustrating part was having to sit the other family down and say, hey, this ain't happening.
Yeah.
Because I'm a nice person and I've always been, yeah, auntie, okay, auntie, cool lad, we can make that work. And then I thought, actually, no, no, no. When you make decisions, these are the consequences. Yeah, so
Mm,
when I put my foot down and did that, then they started getting snappy with me. And I'm
right.
like, hang on a minute. So I got a bit frustrated. Not that I let them know it, but I got frustrated
No,
in myself, like,
and yourself.
okay, why is this happening? How can I come out of this? Because what was happening, I just created this, beautiful, peaceful life, and
Yes.
then they come in. boom, bam,
Yes.
unexpected, routines all mucked up, and I'm like, no, 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 that's not how I do things. Yeah, so yeah, that was
That's been,
frustrating.
you've
And
had
of
some
course, that being
frustration.
my youngest girl, it's like,
Yes.
you know, I, I'm hearing things around the valley that she's not even at her nan. She's been dropped off at the bloody Cuddles down the road who lives in a shack, and I'm like, oh God, no, don't even get me started. Yeah, so just having to allow that to happen for everyone to see how that unfolds
Yeah.
rather than me just go in, demand she comes home and all that. It's been frustrating to let that play out.
So has that been a lack, you felt like a lack of control?
Oh, majorly lack of control.
And I know that's one of your things that you were good at, so was I. Hey.
Yeah, oh, I still grip on with craziness sometimes. I know, and I
Yeah.
know I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
So you would
um,
say in all areas that's probably one of your biggest frustrations with yourself is the control.
oh, big time. Yeah. I'm like I said, I'm way better at it. Like even
Of
this time
course.
around with Mariana, I let it go, let it play
Yes.
out. Whereas
Yeah.
before I would have probably just like yeah, stomped and screamed and whatever. Oh, not
Yes.
screamed, but
Yeah,
you know.
and like I said to you, I was with Joel, I was trying to get her out of bed and get her to a psychologist, and I mean she was in a bad way, right? And a year and a half later, I just had to keep crying myself to sleep every night, thinking, is she going to be awake in the morning? And and then I just had to keep handing it over to the universe. Mum and Dad
Mm,
would come in every day, my passed away parents, and be like, she's okay every day.
mm, cool.
That kept me
Damn.
going, and then what happened was the more I handed it over, she got out of bed and she got up and she
Right.
said one day, Mum, I've got to talk to you. She wouldn't talk, and she's my talker. She was not
Oh.
talking, but this is teenagers, right? She wouldn't talk
Oh
and
yeah.
tell me, and then she goes, I hate myself.
Mm,
And I just,
mm,
cried and cried. She said, I hate myself. I hate myself. I said, thank you. I know you do. I've been feeling it for 2 years, 3 years.
mm,
Thank you for telling me now we can do something about it. Now, she didn't want me to fix it, but because I kept handing over, she got out of bed and told me. Before then, she was just resistant to me, didn't want to talk to me because I was obviously she could feel this control. She
mm.
could feel I was trying to fix it. And then
Right.
over
Yeah.
that time, the more I handed over, I mean, obviously we had some fights, and
Yeah.
the more I hand, hey, let's be human here. The more I handed
Yeah.
over, yeah, she came to me and said, Mum, got jobs. She got some jobs, got a car, got a job and a car the same day, a car for free. That's my girl, Miss
Mm.
Manifester. When she got
Yeah.
out of bed and started to say, this is what's really going on, but I need to sort my life. Then she ended up with a flat in Auckland. Like the more I handed, so I get it, the more I handed over control, the more she stepped up and into who she truly is. And
Yeah.
yet we think we have to fix it for our kids or for whānau or for our business or for work.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
that was just living proof. The more I handed over, she got out of bed and she started to sort herself out. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been my greatest lesson there for sure. But yeah, and
Awesome.
I still have that sometimes too. But it's catching it really fast, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah.
It's the catching of it as quickly as you can, which you're obviously doing more. So that's really cool you're doing that. So how much time do you think you've spent trying to fix this control thing really?
I'm trying to fix it. Control. I think I'll spend heaps of time on it. I know I'll catch myself. Like I'll get into my books and I'll start,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
figure everything out for everyone. And then
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, it's got to be a better way. And it's like, oh, that's right. Let's hand it over. Yeah,
Right.
and
So
then yeah, and
on and
then
off
lo and
then.
behold,
Yeah,
I'll get phone calls that give me, they're like, oh, we sorted the application out for you, blah blah blah. We'll just send the details, and I'm like, oh my God, here I was thinking I was going to have to trawl through this big process, and
yeah,
it's, you get a phone call and it's already been done.
yeah.
So
That's the thing, isn't it?
yeah, it's
So
like,
on and off, probably the last 4 years, you've had times of trying to fix it, or
oh yeah, like I've put a lot of work into
yeah,
that.
yeah,
So, yeah,
a lot of
probably
work.
at least over the last 4 years, I'd say at least. probably got 2 years working on that. Oh,
Yeah.
periodically.
Yeah, yeah, got it. Yeah. I think it's being human and having a brain. It's one of most of our thing is control. We're
Yeah,
trained to fix. We're not trained to allow and to hand it
yeah,
over. We're trained
yeah.
to fix, right? And
That's
with the
right.
dual thing, I was just trying to fix it. And I was like, I think you need to go to counseling. And I'd go in a room and I'd say, get out of bed sometimes because I was just beyond. I mean,
Oh,
all day in bed and up every night, going out every night till
oh, yeah.
to be out and I could hear it, and then going to bed and sleeping all day. I'm like, get out of bed. Like physically
Mm,
just going in there and screaming a couple of times because it's exhausting to someone, as you
mm,
know, in your house that's sleeping all day
yeah,
like a vampire. But that whole control, the more and more I handed it, that surrendered. So I can hear for you too. A target is to surrender completely, right?
yeah,
Should we add that to
yeah,
your add that to
yeah,
your one there? Just
yeah,
surrender. Because allowance, you have to have allowance to surrender.
yeah,
Allowance comes first.
yeah.
It's surrendering, letting go is one of the fucking hardest things we can do in the
Yeah.
brain. Let's just
Every
say
time
it,
I
right?
look at you going, yep, I'm going, oh man, oh
It's
yep.
the hardest, right? Everyone says, let it go, let it be. And I'm going, get fucked.
Yeah,
Because
literally.
you need to look at what's going on first. You
Yeah,
can't let go without getting awareness of what's driving you to hold on.
yeah,
Can you?
that's right.
Just can't.
That's right.
As soon as you know, oh, I'm trying to fix work again, I'm just shooting on myself, or a bit of self-judgment, you go, ah, okay, I can let it go now. But
Yeah,
without that awareness, we're just trying to let go of something that the brain doesn't want to let go of because it thinks we need it for survival, eh?
yeah, that's right. And also that whole thing of like, I'm the only one that can do it because I'm the only one that's always done it. And
Yeah,
even in my marriage, I know when I'm meant to hand over and
yeah.
let him be the husband, provider, the man, and then the kid does it
Step back.
wrong or whatever, and then I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, now I've got twice as much crap to fix. So yeah, just being, I think it comes from being let down,
Yeah.
just
And then
learning over time that you got to do this shit yourself, otherwise it never gets done, or it'll get done worse, or all of
yeah, I
that
do.
backstory
Yeah.
stuff. So
And you've had evidence for it. So, but you
yeah,
would have had a control pattern before that to create something
yeah,
in your life like that. There would have
yeah.
been something you couldn't let go of, and then you gained all this evidence again that, yeah, I'm right. I've got to be the one. Yeah, I'm right. Men do
Oh yeah, true.
right. I'm
You
right. Men
pull
are
that
like that.
relationship in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm right. I am a bad person, or I am wrong, and there's something wrong with me. So those
yeah,
relationships just keep informing us in that pattern and giving us evidence. Yeah.
yeah, true.
So what came first, chicken or the egg, guys, sometimes?
Yeah. Yeah.
No more of those chickens or eggs for us, eh?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I do enjoy it though. Like even though we're talking about challenges and frustrations and stuff like that, I'm still blown away. Like I'll sit there and I'll think, shit, that's right. People got real struggles out here with their
Yeah,
self-worth and their
yeah,
their lower frequency stuff. Um, and I just think, shit, that's right. That was me
yeah.
not long.
Because
Yeah,
because you've shifted so much in the last 3 or 4 years, eh? It's just
yeah,
been incredible, like
yeah.
amazing.
I'm
That's so
stoked.
cool.
I'm like, man. Imagine living the rest of your life out like that, Only
Yeah.
50, could go another 50 if the body allows.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Living
yeah.
like that. And that is people's future because we're
Mm,
creating that unconscious pattern. That's what we're living every day. All we
mm,
know is a bunch of patterns. That's
yeah,
it. And when we rewire them and those patterns become self-love and possibility and peace and allowance,
yeah,
that's what we're living too, right?
yeah,
And you're an example of someone who's living those new patterns, those new frequencies a lot of the time. And that's why
yeah.
you're having so much joy and possibility and what you might call in the outside reality success.
Oh, yeah,
But for
yeah,
me, success is an internal game, you know?
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Now, I didn't
Yeah.
think that that was a thing, to be at peace with self.
Mm.
I never really knew what the hell people were talking about when they just said stuff like that. So I was like,
Same.
oh, yeah, so it's
You know,
cool.
the other one that used to piss me off so much when people said, "Are you in flow?" I'm thinking, what the fuck is flow? What is that? This is like 10 years ago, if I'd say, well, no, before that, probably 15 years ago when I was in my marriage. I'm thinking, what is this flow bullshit? And I used to be angry when I saw it because I
Oh,
think, what
yeah.
is flow? Because I could never, I wasn't accessing that and I hadn't accessed it since I was a little girl, really.
Right,
I mean, we'd
yeah.
had moments of flow where we were traveling and obviously kids were born and there was this flow in those way, but
Oh, yeah.
overall there was just mainly force.
Right.
Push,
Yeah,
push, push, right? And
yeah,
so I might have had things that flowed and synchronicity and intuition was being used, but a lot of the time all I felt was force.
yeah.
You know what
True.
flow was, and man, it used to piss me off when I heard people talk. I just
Yeah,
didn't get it, eh? So now I'm like, when people are talking about flow, I'm like, yeah, that's what my life is. Yeah,
yeah,
90% of the time, which is awesome.
yeah.
That's so cool. I'm just so pleased for you. Just the last
Yeah,
couple of
cool.
pages, we're going to talk about what have you tried that hasn't worked? I mean, I know you've been working with me, but there's been other stuff in the past you've tried that hasn't worked.
Yeah, did the whole, read the secret book,
Yeah,
applied a lot of those principles, bought the notebook, bought the diary, did
yeah,
all that. And I mean, some of it is, of course, it's just, yeah, pretty generic kind of
yeah,
stuff. But even that was false. Like,
yes,
having to apply some of that, sitting in a room and just kind of affirmations and stuff like that. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, nah.
Nah, because your energy hadn't shifted, right?
Yeah, that's right. So you're just kind of coating up all the shit with a whole lot of Milo and sugar or something, just all the underlining stuff was still under there. Whereas, with your tools, it's you can figure out, yeah, it's all the underlining stuff and the questions you got to ask yourself. Um, yeah. And it's not as painful. It's not as painful. Like I've done other stuff like when I was up in Auckland, moved up there with my three kids because this guy turned up at our barber shop and promised, everything, said all the right words. Went out there and I was like, oh man, this is borderline cult, man. This is like, oh, what have I done? Yeah, and so learnt the hard way there. We got wrangled into a whole lot of crazy like financial stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just crazy. And we were all when I got a good look at it, it was like shit, man, we were all like young, we are all young families, we were Maori, most of us Maori Pacific Islanders, we were all looking for that way out.
A
Yeah,
quick
they
way out.
promised us everything. Well, the quick way out, the way out of the shitty situations that we're all in. Yeah, and so I did all that, moved up there for a year, bought properties. I didn't actually realize that we were buying properties. I thought these were all training scenarios, but when I left, I took all my documents with me, and we figured out that he'd been using all of our IDs as his purchasing power. So
Right.
yeah. So we did a whole lot of that, and his thing was a whole lot of yeah, like almost screaming at us to look into ourselves and, spill our guts on what's wrong with us, so I did that real hard and like
Yes.
real wrong. So to where the teachings that I've come with you, they're just with ease. And thank God. That's why otherwise I wouldn't have stuck around. And they work.
And
So
yeah, and it's the gentleness, isn't it? Like there can be pain as that energy
yeah,
comes up and the feeling of shame or guilt or
yeah,
anger or sadness. It can feel hurtful,
yeah,
but we sit in it and we allow it and we release it and we know that we're gently asking ourselves, what's really going on here?
yeah,
Well, how am I treating myself? And when that shame comes up because you've got an old pattern around that that causes shame, you know on some level it's not you. You know it's the patterning, don't you? That's
Yeah.
the difference. It's not you. You're not a bad person.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, true.
And
So,
it feels like you are. We feel like we're in it and it feels so real, but it's our brain just um, showing us and our bodies just following the brain that we've got these patterns that aren't powerful.
yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. So, yeah, I enjoy everything about it. And because the results always show up,
mm.
even when you think they're not, even when you think, yeah, it's like, oh man, I didn't journal that much this week, probably won't get many results. It's kind of like, duh, it's always it's
Yeah.
always humming, it's always, circulating, it's always there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you've shifted your energy and you're embodying a different baseline, like we talked about. You know, if you
Yeah.
look at that David R. Hawkins, you're not sitting in the lower 90 to 100 around shame, guilt, self-regret, anger. You're not there.
Yeah.
That's not your baseline, which was my baseline 12 years ago, was all the
Yeah.
self-anger, wasn't it others, and all the shame. And what are we
Yeah.
creating with that is more of it. So more people coming in to mistreat me because I'm creating it. I'm co-creating it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've lifted that baseline up that we have our moments, but you're now sitting right up there at 400 or wherever you are in that thing. I don't know. You'd look at it and know yourself, but you're sitting
Yeah.
above the anger and the rage and the upset most of the time. And then sometimes you've got some stuff you need to do because you get pulled
Yeah.
down a little bit, but you're aware of it and you're not willing. I think that's the difference, Gina. You're committed and you're not willing not to be peaceful and not to be an allowance. You're not
Yeah.
willing not to have that. Like, I'm not willing not to be happy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, that's it. I've got to do. And that was me 12 years ago. I'm stubborn as fuck. Like,
Yeah.
12 years ago, I'm like, I want happiness for me and my kids.
Yeah.
Really, it was probably about the kids first, but then I realized it was about me.
Mm.
And when I'm happy, my kids are happy. So we're just unwilling to be in 50 years' time to look back and go, where did that go? And I'm still sad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, you're so right. Yeah, and I'm like you, like just that whole stubborn, like there's refusing to be anything less, do not
Mm.
even think about screwing up my peace, man, because it's a flat out no. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's it now. We wouldn't allow that, right? But at times we get on our heads, and at times we have to, yeah. So there's still a little bit of work sometimes, isn't there?
yeah,
For you and me around, yeah, okay, look, a little bit incongruent there, something's non-congruent, and I'm not meant to be doing that today, and that's okay. So you're tweaking, but because you've done so much work over years, now you don't have to be all day, every day doing the mahi to fix it or to
yeah,
transform yourself out of it. It's not even a
yeah,
fixing, but it's that tweaking, and where do you want to go next?
yeah,
And getting that support to do it sometimes is what we need because you might have a massive target and it's just like, I want someone to keep me on track so I
yeah,
don't fall back at all down into that guilt or shame around it. Cool.
yeah,
So what fears? Do you have any fears? I know you're pretty fearless, but what would be a fear if you closed your eyes and we
yeah.
get back into what's going on in there? In your brain a little bit. Anything that pops up around a fear, what would be your greatest fear? You said about not willing to not be happy in 50 years and peaceful, but what else?
Yeah. I think fear of losing it all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's what pops up.
So is that sort of like a this is too good to be true sort of energy?
Yeah, I think so, because as soon as I say it, it's kind of like, nah, you're just making that up. But it must be there for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, you're highly intuitive and you know your stuff and you apply the tools. So if you're getting a thought pop up like that after I ask you a question, you got to trust that there's a little bit of that still going on.
Yeah.
Excuse me. That's
Yeah,
interesting,
fear of
isn't it?
losing, I think. Fear of losing, and then fear of losing it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Okay. So you've got a
yeah,
fear of losing and then losing it all, which is slightly different. Because a fear of losing would be I've got to compete a little bit.
oh yeah,
Because you said both. So one's a
yeah,
competition, like I've got to compete a little bit with people or life, and the other one is losing everything. So do
yeah,
you think you've got both going on? Because you said it two different ways.
oh yeah, yeah.
Do you sometimes feel like you have been in a bit of a battle to compete? Not because you want to be the top, but because
Um,
you've had to fight in the past to
yeah,
survive.
definitely, and probably a bit of both. Like everything that I've gone into, whether it's hairdressing competitions or hairdressing training or just even relive, even Kangen,
Yeah,
like I just had to be number one.
yeah,
Whether it was sales rep of the month or
yeah.
just whatever. And it was just, I think, just kept proving to myself that I'm clever enough, that I can do it, that I'm
Right,
brainy, that that
right.
stuff still comes up every
So,
now and
so
again.
there's a little bit of fear that you're not clever enough still, a little bit.
A little bit, but
Yeah,
I reckon it's just repetitive talk
yeah,
because
yeah,
as soon as I say it, my whole everything goes, yeah, what? You still believe that
yeah,
type of
yeah,
thing. So,
yeah.
well, must be.
And we just
Yeah,
don't want it operating at all. But yes, you're
yeah,
aware of it, which is 99% of it, eh?
yeah,
Because once you're aware of it, you go, oh, that's bullshit. But
yeah,
years ago, you might not have been aware of it. And also, when it came up, you might not have known what to do with it. And like, oh, I've got
yeah,
this belief. Shit, I'm a scared person. But now you're not owning it. You're putting a space between it and going,
yeah,
that's my patterning. That's not Gina.
yeah,
It's huge,
yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when I think about my actual soul being doesn't go into agreement with it, but
No,
there's the old chatter
yeah.
comes up. Yeah,
That's a neat way to put it, though. My soul's being doesn't agree with it, but the chatter pops in. But for a lot
yeah,
of people, they're so in their heads and they're living out of here and they're identifying with it. They don't know their soul. They don't
yeah,
know their being. So what's
yeah,
happening is they see it, they feel it, it's operating, they feel shame and anger and upset around it and guilt. And it's, oh, that is me. I am that person. I'm a bad person. I feel fearful. I must be bad or there's something wrong with me. But
yeah,
isn't it cool that you've separated that and you can sense your essence,
yeah, yeah,
your wider, who you truly be?
yeah,
That's brilliant. That's just amazing.
checking in with Wairua is so cool. That whole light and heavy that you taught
Yeah.
us long time ago. Yeah, I use that heaps.
Yeah. So do I still. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. That's so cool. Because if you're feeling like a little bit confused over something, sometimes I'll be like, not doing as much as I used to, but it depends what situation too. But I'd be like, oh, I'm not quite sure. And I just sit with my body and feel into my body and just feel that lightness or feel the heaviness. And it's always in my womb.
Oh yeah.
Where's it for
Yeah.
you? Is it more your
Yeah,
chest?
same. Pretty much in the womb.
Oh, yours is the womb. Yeah, because everyone's
Yeah.
different, right? I've got people I know it's in their legs or their feet or their
Oh
shoulders or their
yeah.
heads. It's just, it's not our guts.
Yeah.
And it's not our gut. I mean, for women, maybe we've got that intuitive womb thing anyway, I think, but there'll be other areas that show it. But for me, it's definitely my womb. Yeah, it's so interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Same, definitely. Yeah.
yeah, it is. So, is there anything you're not willing to do to shift through any of this? Is there
Huh.
anything that comes up? No, I knew there wouldn't be, but for some people, they've got stories around too busy, uh,
Oh,
leave the kids, all that.
oh no. If it's meant to be, it'll work out. It's all good.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. So is there anything else you haven't shared that we haven't talked about, or you feel like you've shared all of that, your frustrations, your targets, your
Yeah.
fears?
No, I feel pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
cool.
that's it. Yeah.
And if this took another 5 years for these, for you to feel total allowance and total peace and to have totally let go of control and to be out of that little bit of fear around I'm going to lose it and I've got to be competing a little bit, would you be okay with that? To still be there in
I,
another If you were
5 years.
still here wanting those targets and they hadn't come, would you be okay with that?
No.
I know your answers. I know your answers exactly like mine. No.
I'm like, no, man, we got stuff to do.
I know, I mean you and I, man, we got fucking shit to do. We got targets to reach, right? Not all this other
Absolutely.
bullshit. You're so like
Yeah.
me, man. You crack me up. And that's why this resonated for you because you're so like me and you've seen the shifts in me too, right?
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
and yeah, but we're so alike like that. So what are you willing to do then? What are you willing to do to shift this?
Am I willing to do to shift that?
Mm,
Um, I'm pretty open,
yeah,
whatever it takes. I mean,
yeah,
it's, like I said, it just gets better and lighter and calmer and
yeah,
more miraculous and more
yeah,
fun and more
yeah.
miracles and more just, yeah, fabulous. Just,
Yay.
yeah,
So you're willing to do whatever it takes.
pretty much.
That's
Yeah,
awesome. That's awesome. So this has been awesome. And we might think you've done so much work with me that that's just looking at your frustrations and targets, but you can see it has brought up,
yeah,
a couple of little fears that are still operating. It's brought up that little bit of proving yourself still and that little bit of self-trust that it needs to still come in. And also some of your what you really desire is the surrendering and the allowance, right? And that total allowance will allow you to totally surrender and that peace, total peace, like you've got it a lot of the time. But
yeah,
that even that 10% we know when we turn the frequency on the dial, when you dial that in, that next 10%, your life is even going to, I mean, right now, my life is beyond anything I could imagine. It really is, right?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
honestly, it really is. And I'm asking for more, right? So I've dialed into this, I'm tuned in, right? I'm in this frequency, but then I'm like, show me more of this. So when you tune in this last 5 to 10%, who knows what's available to you?
Mm,
And it's another level of joy and peace and possibility, like you said, and miracles and magic. And I'm super excited for you for that. So you've had this clarity, we've had this time to catch up, and there's still a few little things eluding you, but you've had the awareness of them now, which means something will shift. You're tuning your
yeah.
dial in just by talking about it today. We're tuning in. And the lady I had yesterday, she'd never talked properly about her targets or goals.
Mm,
Never.
mm.
And she realized it was selfish. That is huge to see. To
Oh,
ask for something for her was selfish.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That is huge. And that's a lot of the women I'm dealing with are like that, right? So, yeah, I just want you to know that, yeah, something's going to shift now just from this little conversation. And I'm really excited for you. So, what I need for you now is we're just going to sort of declare a statement. We're going to declare something and breathe it in and embody it.
Cool.
And and that's your little breakthrough. So what is it that you want to break through? And we've got a statement I've written here. I something commit to. So I, Gina, commit to because I'm worthy of having everything that my soul really desires. What do you think is the breakthrough? What word would you put in them? I, Gina, commit to because I am worthy,
Myself. Just commit to myself.
right? And
Without,
what does that look like?
yeah, putting myself first.
Right. Should we put that
Uh,
then?
yeah,
That's pretty
yeah,
clear, isn't it?
yeah,
Does that feel right? Putting myself first?
yeah. I've been practicing that a lot. And
Yeah.
when you're saying about that lady that said it was selfish,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. My whole life of bringing up the kids, it's always kids first, a husband, marriage. If there's a little bit left over for mum at the end of the day, oh, well, that's yours. Yeah, so I've really flipped that around now, and it's like, no, mum
Yeah.
first, me first.
Yeah. And this is you're in practice and embodying it now, isn't it? All the time. So even when
Yeah,
you're on a email and you're starting to get into that triggered
yeah,
state, it's like, hang on, when I put myself first, what do I do? Oh, that's right.
yeah,
I need to step into, I'm triggered about that. What do I need to do to sort that? Like putting yourself first, as you know, is looking at the nice stuff and not so nice stuff, isn't it? Yeah,
That's
and
right.
you're good at that,
Yeah.
luckily. But what I mean is putting yourself first is also surrender and handing over bullshit stuff as well.
Mm,
Whether it's
yeah.
friendships, whether it's work stuff, and not allowing yourself to get triggered as
Yeah.
much. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So we're just going to breathe it in because we're not playing, eh? We don't play in the sandpit. We don't play in there with the dogs gone to the toilet, right?
That's
We're
right.
out, we're out in this world totally creating our reality. We're not playing in some little sandpit somewhere. So
That's right.
breathe
Yeah.
this in. So I just want you to close your eyes and I'm going to read it to you. I, Gina Corder, or whatever you call yourself now. I, Gina,
Cora. Yeah.
yeah, commit to putting myself first because I'm worthy of having what my soul really desires and having everything of what my soul really desires, all of it. I just want you to breathe that in energetically, like breathe it in as I say it. I, Gina, commit to to putting myself first all the time because I'm worthy of having what my soul really desires and everything my soul really desires, all of it. Breathe that in and just have it coming into your energy and into your body and being. And just sit with it for a few seconds. How does that feel?
Fantastic.
Yay!
Yeah, it feels great.
Yay! So that's your breakthrough completely. Like you are doing it on some level, right? But this is
Yeah.
another level of it. This isn't,
Cool.
again, we're out of the sandpit. We're not playing with the kids' toys. This is another level of upgrade for you. Because when you totally put yourself first, fuck, things are going to really shift around you. That's what I'm saying. Again, you're going to get a shift.
Massive.
Yeah. And who knows what friendships or relationships or businesses or money or relationships with your kids or whatever come in because of that.
Yeah.
It's
Mm.
huge. That's awesome. Super excited to see what shows up in the next few months for you, next few days,
Yeah,
whatever.
for
But
sure.
thank you so much for today.
Thank you.
What
Yeah.
have you, what if for me, what I've loved is just seeing you again, reiterate where you've been and who you've become. I just love that. But also your awareness around what's missing is just amazing. Your self-awareness, and I've loved seeing, I know that about you, but I just love it, how self-aware you are. It's amazing. So what have you loved the most? What have you got the most out of it
Out of working with you.
today, just today?
Oh, today.
Yeah.
Um, I think kind of clarity, definitely. Um, so I know things have been quite swirly for me lately. So yeah, just to put a bit of a yeah, a point of clarity
Yeah.
um from today, and then it's like, okay, cool. The awareness stuff, I knew it was kind of there, but to say it out loud again is another level of clarity. So it's like,
Mm,
cool, I can keep an eye on that. I know, you know, just gives me a fixed point of things to work on. Uh,
mm,
yeah, and I like that. It kind of gives me more routine. I don't know if you want to call it that. Something to kind of grip onto, I guess. I need
mm,
that every now and again.
mm. Perfect. So what
Yeah.
I'll do is I'll send you a summary as well. You probably don't need to rewatch this whole thing. I'll just send you a transcript with a summary
Nice.
and then it will show you the things that you said that you want to work on, right?
Okay, cool.
And then you've
Yeah,
got some journaling things or some questions or some whatever if you want to use activations, whatever you're using to just tease out some more of that and let go and surrender. Yeah. So I'll send you a
perfect.
summary of each day, but
Love
if you
that.
wanted a copy of the whole call, I can.
No,
Um,
that's cool. Transcript's still good.
yeah. Sorry, what did you say?
The just the transcript will be
Yeah, they're good.
it's
Just
all
give
good.
those
Yeah.
key things that
Yeah.
you said. And it'll be done in AI speak, so it'll sound really American, but
It's all good.
She was so excited about it. So do
Yeah, I
you want to
read
give
some of
me?
those too. It's like funny as.
The funny is, that's so funny. Like that when I try and put in like make me real, it's like cosmic queen and all this. I'm like, no, I don't call myself a cosmic queen, but I do call myself a queenager these days. We're the
Yeah, I
queen,
love that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So is 6 o'clock gonna work for you tomorrow then? Yeah.
Yes, please.
A little bit
Yep.
earlier? Yeah, sweet. So tomorrow
Six
what we're
o'clock.
doing is, yeah, we'll be going through that signature such system that you know about. But I'm just going to
Cool.
grade you on it, and then you'll get a real awareness again of which tool do I need to apply or which area is slightly down. And you've already been bringing some of that out, but it might give you more clarity around that.
Nice.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay, my friend, will
Nice.
you have a beautiful sleep?
Okay, will do. Thank you. Hey, thanks very much for doing this. You'll need all right.
Yeah, you'll
Um,
need all right too.
Watching your journey, that cracked me up. Some of your things that you put, I'm like, oh, that's Lisa, classic as.
Oh,
Just your realness and your straight upness just makes me laugh. Like you'll go like real, real lovely, bubbly, da 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 da, and then you'll say something real off the cuff, like, cut that shit out or something like that. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, cut that shit up. My reels like, stop that BS, man. But yeah, Saturday was so funny. My mate Deb, who I was traveling with in Turkey, she goes, trust you to meet a bloody local Spanish family. And like, they said, oh, and he was trying to say, do you want me to put your drink bottle in a cooler? Because it was like 32 degrees on the beach
Oh shit.
and you don't look like a local, right? So he puts it in the cooler, and then his wife and that starts to put food out, and then they're going, come over telling me to sit under the umbrella. Then they're feeding me, and the nana's there, and I'm there 6 hours, mate. Like the whole day.
Shit.
I got home. My brother's like, "Where the fuck were you? We were worried about you." I said, "I met
I
some
done dumped
locals,
it
and
on
they
the
fed
beach.
me, they watered me, they collared me, they put my drink in the thing, and then they basically we use Google Translate a little bit, but at the end they'll basically like meet you here next Saturday. So I'm meeting them this Saturday, and she was going, "Feeding you," like.
Oh,
My
that's so
friend
cool
was
though.
she was just like, that is so typical of you to meet some locals and they feed you and you've got best friends and Malaga, and I went, yep. But that's the whole thing about being yourself, isn't it?
Yeah,
Someone
you
else
track
could
those.
have shut
Yeah,
down and gone, oh no, that I don't know them and it's a man and what if they're mean and
yeah,
like I was just
yeah,
listened to my gut and it felt right.
yeah. That's right.
Smile.
No,
And you just smile and they smile and it's all good.
yeah, connection, eh? Awesome. Love it.
Connection. Yeah, so do I.
Oh,
Hey, thanks, honey. We'll speak
okay,
tomorrow.
thanks very much. Yeah,
See
see
you.
you
Take
tomorrow
care.
night.
Love you. Bye.
You too. Bye.